Hey, glorious souls. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Kel, and this is your Soul Service Astrology update for the week of the 27th of February, 2023. I am a 13-sign sidereal astrologer if you've been following along. If not, welcome to 13-sign sidereal. Let me blow your mind. It matches what you can observe in the sky. Other modern Western pop astrology does not match what you can observe in the sky. That's really important. In this day and age, we need to be looking at our environment, and the sky includes our environment. It has all the indigenous cultures, ancient cultures were looking at the sky and observing and drawing meaning from it, and we can do the same. And it can certainly help us accept ourselves, understand ourselves. It can help us achieve the goals that we want in our life. It can help us become more cyclic. It can help us reconnect with that cyclic nature within ourselves. And then that makes our life a little bit more easy, because instead of always thinking that and feeling that we need to operate the way the system is telling us, we can start to relax a little bit at the edges. We still have to be in the system. That is history. This is what we are living in. We are living in this quite oppressive system at the moment, particularly in Western countries, and then of course that percolates out through the other countries that are being, I would say, overused and exploited is the word I'm looking for, exploited by the Western countries. So everyone's kind of suffering. But if we can start to tap back into that innate knowledge that we are ecological and cyclical, and start to work with it a little bit in the system, I guarantee you will find more ease, more flow. You'll give yourself a break. It's not all your fault. And I said that last week. So that's why I think soul service astrology, 13-sign sidereal astrology, and a lot of the other astrologies that have sky observational practices, are looking at the skies where things are now, are really important for the day and age that we're living in. And it's a shift. It is a big shift, and it's a shift that we need to make because our environment is screaming at us. I won't go on a rant in relation to the environment. All right, let's talk about what's going on this week. This coming week, there is a lot of energy in Pisces, and there's lots of conjunctions happening in Pisces, and there's also some big energy entering into Aquarius. So we have Mercury entering into Aquarius on Wednesday. So the beginning of the week, there's not much shifts happening. It sort of starts the midweek and then increases from there. So Mercury's going to enter into Aquarius. Mercury is our mind. It is our logical intelligence. So how we think, how we process things. And our mind is instructed by our subconscious and our beliefs. So in Aquarius, the mind gets a little bit of freedom. It can be seeking out ways to be inspired. It might be seeking out ways to do things differently, to be quite inventive. So that can be really joyful and fun to have that freedom to explore with the mind. It could involve quite in-depth and detailed information, analytical information that you need to feed into your ideas, feed into your inventions, feed into any changes that you want to make. Now, the mind has just been in Capricorn for some time. So if you did document down the goals that you wanted to achieve over the next, I would say, celestial new year, which starts on the 20th, 21st of March, not January. We roll with the celestial year here, which doesn't start. We haven't had our new year. Our new year is in a month on the 20th and 21st of March. So this is a great time with Mercury going through Capricorn. Okay, what is it that I'm consolidating this year into my wisdom and clearing out any clutter? This is consolidation in Capricorn. And then when it moves into Aquarius, you get to be quite free with, okay, so what information do I need to feed into those goals and those achievements? So you get to vision, right? So we've had Mercury go through Capricorn. What is it? What are we focusing on? Then you go, what's the vision? So actually, it's great. Instead of going, what's the vision, then how am I going to do it? You go, these are the things I want to do. And now, how does that fit with my vision and what information do I need? So be inventive, be divergent in your thinking, be exploratory. Exploratory, is that a word? Anyway, so that's the shift with Mercury. Now, Mercury's not going to stay in Aquarius for very long because Aquarius is very short and sharp. And that's probably a good thing. The mind loves, depending on the type of personality that you are, the mind loves information, right? And exploring. Now, when I say information here, open yourself up to the possibility that information can come to you in different ways, not necessarily through the pathways that you're used to. So what I'm referring to is that you may receive information through your intuition here. And that's a great lead into the biggest energy that is mounting this week, and it's all the Pisces energy. So even though we're kind of in Aquarius season at the moment, with the sun in Aquarius, sun is in Aquarius, I'm fairly certain it's in Aquarius. Sometimes all the data, yes, it is in Aquarius because we had a new moon in Aquarius, Cal. Yes. So even though it's traditionally would be referred to as Aquarius season at the moment, because that's where the sun is, I would say the energy at the moment is quite strong for Pisces because Jupiter, Venus, Chiron, and Neptune are all in Pisces. And in the next month, we're going to have Mercury's going to move in and the sun's going to move in. So there's quite strong Pisces energy. What does Pisces energy sort of mean? It's that reunification with all our intelligences. It's the privileging of our subtle intelligences. So the privileging of our feelings, the privileging of our intuitive intelligence, and the privileging of our environmental intelligence, and using that in our daily life. Because for the longest time, what we have privileged is primarily our analytical intelligence, which is what I was just talking about, and probably I would say to a certain degree, our feelings, letting us drive us. Now, our feelings are information as well, and that's our emotional intelligence. And I've seen that growing in the years that we've been moving through just recently. So we are in the age of Pisces, and this concentration of energy in Pisces is a real opportunity for you to expand into that essence of something bigger than us, that essence, that awe feeling. You go, there has to be more to life. It's that feeling of consciousness that there is something more, that it is not just me and my physical body and this world and this ridiculous system that we're living in that is making me feel pain and suffering because of the way it's being constructed. So there's lots of opportunities this week in Pisces, and the first one is Jupiter meeting Venus. So Jupiter is positive and optimistic energy. It's our beliefs, it's our joy, it's our opportunities to expand into and explore new things that really interest us. You'll have to excuse me while I just wipe my nose. Live YouTube. Not really live YouTube, but you never know when your nose is going to run in Australia in the morning in the summer. So it's quite positive energy, Jupiter. And a conjunction is emerging. Now, Venus is typically associated also with abundance and being resourced. Now, these two coming together, you've got two opportunities here. One, an opportunity to explore where you're not resourced and where you want to be resourced, and delivering some really beautiful positive energy in that space, or to expand into an overwhelming feeling of gratitude for what you have right now. So we're sitting in the feeling state of what we have right now. And the question to ask, an opportunity to ask ourselves is, what if I already have everything I want right now? And what if, there's that question again, a very Aquarius question, what if I don't need anything else? what if being in this present moment is enough? And so they're all sort of Pisces feelings that are connected to how we would look at abundance in our lives. Because, of course, if you just look at the system tells you abundance is money. And that's flawed. That is not correct. It's correct for the system, but it's not really correct for your feeling states. It's not correct in your environmental intelligence, what your environment is telling you, and even what your intuition might be telling you. So there's some opportunities to explore there and use your intuitive intelligence to feed it. Now, this is a great segue into an aspect that occurs on Saturday, which is Chiron conjunct Venus. And something I did want to talk to you about is that we need to have a regulated nervous system to start to expand beyond what it is that we know and start to really expand into our intuitive intelligence and really listen to the environment and listen to our feelings. Now, the current systems that we're in aren't helping our nervous systems be regulated, and that is not your fault, right? There's a reason they want us to stay there. I'm referring to the few that control a substantial amount of wealth in the world. So if there are things that you can do this week that support your nervous system, that is abundance. That is starting to feel resourced. So nervous system regulation, exercising, and in particular exercising outside, has been demonstrated to release lots of well-being chemicals in the body and give you a greater feeling of well-being. Practices that include the body as well as the mind, so body-mind connection. So if there's meditations that you can do that refer to the body and connecting into the mind, I would call them more somatic meditation practices. Of course, I'm always going to say meditation, but there are other sort of active forms of meditation that help with nervous system regulation. So, of course, you have emotional freedom technique, and you also have chanting. So, and then breath practices. So if you practice yoga like I do, pranayama, perhaps you don't practice yoga, so you call it breath work. All those techniques will help you regulate your nervous system. And I really think that that's probably my key piece of opportunistic advice, if I'm giving unsolicited advice to all my followers, is that check in with your nervous system, because it's very hard to do what I said at the beginning, expand into opportunities and abundance if your nervous system isn't functioning properly. And I certainly experienced that last year. And then just having a look at what the system is doing on top of that. So work where you're at, support your nervous system, number one, and that includes very much your body. Do that first. And then you can start to feel into how you feel resourced and grateful for where you're at, even though you might be feeling pretty shit because of what's going on in the world at the moment. Excuse my sniffling. All right, so then on Friday, so that's kind of two Pisces aspects that are occurring this week. And there is a third one that I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. But before that, let's talk about Saturn conjunct with Mercury in Aquarius. So Saturn is our wisdom. It's our consolidated wisdom. It comes from information that we've learnt, Mercury, our analytical intelligence, but it also comes from our lived experience. That's wisdom. And you may have goals and achievements that you would like to fulfill over the next celestial year. And along comes Mercury in Aquarius. And so now it's time to fuse these two together so that you can start taking action steps. But it's an Aquarius. So like I mentioned at the beginning, what information is coming in? What do I have to clear out of my mind to consolidate and focus? What are my methods? Are my methods working? Do I need to make some tweaks and changes? Because we're in Aquarius, we can make changes. We can look at this in a kind of free way is, are those methods really working to take me to where I want to be with my wisdom, with my mastery? It could be your career or your business. It could be a personal goal. And when I say goal, I don't want you to think hard, fast. It has to be big and some kind of capitalistic goal. It could be just a goal to do less each week. It could be a goal to go, I'm doing too many things. I need to find balance with my partner. You know, I'm not talking big goals here. They could be just little tiny ones. So what changes do I sort of need to make to my life and the way I'm thinking about my goals and the way I think about my wisdom and the methodology I have, maybe the way I'm thinking about my career, maybe where my career is leading me, where my wisdom is leading me, where my business is leading me. Maybe I need to open my mind a little bit because there could possibly be something at the edges that I'm not seeing because I'm so focused. So maybe I just need to open myself up. And a question I would ask you, so this is the first time Mercury and Saturn meet up in Aquarius, and we'll meet up a couple more times over the next couple of years. This is the first one. So what is my vision? How do I want my life to change? And does it need to change? There's some questions for you in relation to Saturn conjunct Mercury. And then the final conjunction we have at the end of the week on a Sunday, and it's great that it's on a Sunday because you should take a rest, is Chiron conjunct Jupiter. So this is where the nervous system work comes in this week. So I want you, the theme of this week overall is to start feeling into peace and imagination together. Just imagine your life if you felt a really centered, grounded feeling of peace. Like, you get to imagine that now. You have an imagination where you can feel that. But if your nervous system is dysregulated, like I mentioned at the beginning, opportunities to expand what you know right now in the pain and the suffering that you might be experiencing is really, really difficult. So we have to have that inner healing to then start to expand outwards. Now, if you're in a position where you are physically healing or mentally healing, there is no requirement for you to expand beyond that. You focus in on that. That is what is required of you at this point in time. Let others support you that have the energetic resources to do it. So this is you checking in with your energetic resources. How abundant do I feel with my energetic resources? Do I need to have some more inner healing to be stronger here? And this is nervous system support. So all the things that I mentioned, exercising, particularly in nature, emotional freedom technique. This particular year, last celestial year, has been one of my key support mechanisms, of course, and exercising outside, meditative techniques, chanting, pranayama, breath techniques. They're really all my go-tos for nervous system support. And let me tell you, the system that we're in is dysregulating us fairly often. So these need to be quite disciplined practices. You need to find something that you love, that feels good, and that you can do in the long term. So that's that Saturn energy. There's a tapas there. There's a discipline there that we are cultivating so that we can be energetically resourced and that we can then start to expand outwards, support others and be energetically resourced, expand out and support communities. Excuse my sniffing nose. So that's this week. It's a big week. So make sure that you're energetically, nervous system is supported. Look at your week. You can purchase one of my beautiful Soul Service Astrology 2023 planners, which aligns with the celestial year. So it starts on the 21st of March. These are not for pre-sale anymore. They are for sale. So as soon as you buy one, I can ship it within a couple of days. And it has a weekly layout with all the moons and the key celestial aspects that you will hear me talking about here every week. But it allows you, that weekly spread allows you to look at what you've got on feel into how you're feeling at the beginning of the week, because you will feel things coming. This is how I talk to you. You feel things coming into the next week and you go, this is how I need to tweak my week. And I would encourage you to start doing that. Now, I know there are some things that there is unavoidable, but can you make some changes to make your life feel more easeful, more peaceful? And the planner is a tool. I'd love to say it would fix your life, but I'm not that kind of person. It's a tool that can help you feel into your cyclic nature so that you can find more ease and flow within your days, weeks, months, and year, because you're going to flow with the seasonal cycles, not some projected systemic cycle. You can go and buy one of those at kellygunter.com. And I will see you next week. Have a glorious week leaning into peace and imagination. Bye.